in the world that we live in, no matter what kind of creature you are, whether that's human, dog, elephant, giraffe, whatever it may be, no two of that species is the same. No two humans are the same. No two dogs are the same. No two elephants are the same. I mean, we may look alike. We may be very similar in a lot of ways, but we're going to, at some point down the line of what we are, have different interests, look slightly different eye color, hair color. For giraffes, maybe their spots are in different spots, right? But then why is it in most TTRPGs, whenever we select our background or we select our ancestry or our race or whatever it may be, whether that's dragonborn, elf, human, right, whatever it is, we're the same as every other created thing that is of that race or whatever it may be, right? All elves get the same bonuses. All halflings get the same bonuses. All humans get the same bonuses. Now, there's things like variant human, which let you pick a feat and things of that nature, but for the most part, they're all pretty standardized. And that's where DC20 comes in. Because not only is it not standardized, but you get to be your own character with your own bonuses from your lineage. Now, for those of you unaware, in DC20, the way that Ancestries work is you pick one, and there is a default list of ones that you can start with. If, as a DM, you want to keep things as balanced as possible and as standard as possible, you just tell your players to take that. But what you can do is they get 5 points to spend from a list of different ancestry kind of options and traits for that person. And I'll go ahead and throw up human on the side here so that you can kind of see what I'm referring to. And so if you had 5 points, you could pick out of these things to take what you want. And that is super sick because not only does the player have a ton of control, but the DM also gets a ton of control over what the players might have in terms of strength, but also over things you can do with this extra system. Now, I can already hear some of the points of, with something like this where you have even more options in character creation, there's the typically obvious con that people try to point out of, well, isn't this just kind of annoying for new players having to pick new things? And my biggest contrary point to that is that there's default traits already built in. So if you're a new player and your DM is helping walk you through creating a character, you can just pick your ancestry and take the default options in the same way a lot of other TTRPGs work, where it's like, hey, I want to be a Dragonborn, here's your base Dragonborn abilities, go ahead, enjoy, have fun. But for those that want to get more intricate when you're first creating the character, you have the option to be more intricate if your DM is okay with that. So this is good because not only did it create more fun and more options, but it solved the problem of being a little intimidating because you can just take the simple, hey, this is the best way to start with this ancestry. The main thing I want to talk about are the benefits and the different things that you can do as a DM to really play with this system. And some of these are in the rulebook, and some of these are just things that I've kind of thought about as things you can do in your campaign. Now, I want to start off with the easiest one, and that is allowing your players more or less creative freedom, right? That's just kind of point one as the DM, and maybe not necessarily restricting creative freedom, but also restricting power level, because at the end of the day, these are buffs inherently, right? These are extra features you are giving a player's character, so you can lower it. If maybe you want them to start off a little weaker, you can start them at 3 ancestry points, and maybe instead of when they would usually gain a couple of ancestry points, you tack one back on to kind of slowly readjust them back to the high power level, but start them off a little weaker. Or you can even do the inverse. Maybe you want them to start off a little stronger, but they don't gain ancestry points as they go, and rather they can start with 7 or 8 and then work their way down. Now, most people wouldn't go with that option, but it is there as an option. So you have a lot of variables to play with this very simple to use system as a DM to really help kind of keep your players' power level together. Also, as an option, if the DM's okay with it, and this one's again in the rulebook, there is the custom ancestry option, where you can pick 3 or more ancestries and really mix and match. Now, it does recommend, if you're going to do that, to only have them start with at most 4, because at that point, once you are allowing them to mix and match any of the ancestries, they can get super min-maxy, and you can start to create some builds and some combos that are a little overtuned. But, you know, that's the point, and that's up to the DM's discretion, but it is a thing you can do of really opening up the option pool for your players. One thing mentioned that I really like is, let's say your character is just a human, and you want them to just be a human, but you really like the idea of this human having a dragon breath power, right? That you would get from being a dragonborn, but you want them to be a human. You're not stuck to just being a human. One of the recommendations in the book is using things like magical items. Maybe your family has a signet ring that has been passed down through centuries and through ages, and the signet ring has a little bit of dragon's blood in it. And anytime somebody puts it on, they get maybe some scales that pop up on their skin. And then, all of a sudden, they can breathe fire. And this now allows the player to have a human character, but you can yoink some dragonborn traits to be able to use them. It's super cool, and again, this type of variation is allowed in other TTRPGs, but it's not built and caked into the rules in the same way that this one is, which is so nice, because this one, even within the rules, gives you so much flexibility, and you also know at the end of the day, you're not just breaking the game, because in some other TTRPGs, when you try to mix and match like this, it's super easy to accidentally break the balance of the game because it's just simply not designed to do that. Now, my last and certainly not least way to use the Ancestry system is you can use it in your campaign to give boons and buffs attached to these ancestries. Let's say your person's a human. I know we've used this idea before, but it's the easiest one. Okay, stick with me. You're a human, and you have found the ruins of an ancient dragonborn civilization. And you're walking through them, and you start to find these great murals on a wall. You find these great murals of humans worshiping these dragonborn, and maybe you start to see these murals of humans seemingly morphing and seemingly changing, and you're not sure what it means. And as you go deeper into the ruins, you find a relic, and you don't really know what it is. It seems to give off an aura that you just can't quite figure it out. And you reach out to grab it, and as soon as you touch it, you feel a sensation that you've never felt before. You don't know what's happening, but your skin starts to crawl. You feel your blood flowing through your veins for the first time, but this time it has an innate magic to it. And then all of a sudden, you have wings, right? Like the character grows wings and they can glide now. And you know what you just did as the DM? You simply gave them an ancestry trait of Dragonborn, or Angelborn, or Fiendborn, or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is they can do this ancient thing, and as a really cool boon, you can give them an ancestry trait from this deep civilization, or just from something. Or, you know, if you want to keep it simple, right? It can just be that they're visiting a beastborn civilization or a beastborn kind of tribe, and they help them out, and as a gift to all of them, they give them a beastborn trait to use, right? Some of them can have swimming speed, climbing speed, whatever. So cool and so sick. It's so good. All right, this Ancestry system can be used in so many different ways. I hope I've sold y'all on this Ancestry system, and if you liked what you heard and you want DC20, you can hit the link down in the description and it will bring you to the website where you can get the entire PDF in the most current update, which is super sick, and that link also helps me as a creator, so hey, if you want to support me, that's a great way to do it while getting yourself some cool, fun goodies to use. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.